My dear friends, this is a experiment. An experiment I hope to succeed at. I'm going to read my notes that I wrote to myself. Now, normally I'm reading this, and I am also looking down. But this time I'm going to look somewhat into the camera, if I can avoid looking at myself. I'm so charismatic that my own image attracts me. Love is a many splendid things when I'm looking at my good friend Vin. Anyway, we'll go on about my note from the New York Post, my Bible, in a way. It says a lot about me. Ageist Trump. There have been unsubstantiated accusations that Trump is, he's an old man. He no longer function. I dare say this is the greatest lie ever. The man is ageless. The man is sharp. The man is genius. I've seen the old pictures and the old conversations with Trump, and he was a sharp-minded young man. But now he's developed a comic timing that is truly extraordinary. Could this be? The man is 80. He just turned 80. His mind should be going too much as Mr. Biden. Where am I? Where am I, Biden? But no, the man is still a student of human nature and a grand giant among us. Look at the picture there, back there, sitting there like a Buddha, getting direct conversations and support from a universal it. Oh, yes, I said it. There are higher forces that work in Donald Trump's favor to keep bullets from hitting him in the head. How many conspiracies? How many CIA, KGB, and Red Chinese agents? And we're not even mentioning our Muslim friends have plotted against him. But no, our Trumpy marches on. With a little bit of a limp, as anybody his age would expect, but a limp of pride. Now, waking at child slavery. It seems the Biden administration that lost millions, or hundreds of thousands, let's quibble about numbers, at least 250,000 children coming across the border to be sold into slavery in the private homes of miscreants in the poppy fields, or no, the marijuana fields, uh, and also the overseers were, of course, child molesters. Who else would do such an evil job? Biden administration ignores this. They didn't knock on the doors of people who got the children, so they knew where they were. It's not the conditions they lived under. This is why Holy God is intervening. He really doesn't. Let's little monkeys and parameciums handle their own business for a while. No, no sides are being chosen. The sides of the right are going to be all right. They'll have their setbacks, but lefties look out. The days upon this planetary domination are numbered. Oh, your numbers will dwell in the lower layers. Mix more, and that's the thing that annoys the holy God. What they're doing is they're mixing um, the status of man and woman. Now they don't say mom or dad anymore. The official party line is, I don't even know what it is. It's not the traditional concept of man and woman that only a man can sire women through his seed, and only women can give birth to children. This cannot stand. And not endorsed by the powers that be, those with guns, and that could enforce these insane rules. And they are insane. They're not the first society or culture or war machine that's ever endorsed this. Of course, Trump is in play, and these people are being fought state by state. New York State, the math lady, a woman who does so much Botox in her face that we don't know of what part of the human race she is associated with, is making it impossible to have a normal situation in terms of the traditions. Mommy and daddy are no longer mommy and daddy. There is one who can sire a child through its womb, but can still be called a man because of artificial affectations that do not change the fundamental difference between men and women, which has been created by the Almighty God. He doesn't like this. It will be swept aside. So false religions, cults will be. Yes. Won't be smart at all. An illegal plotted to kill the president and his supporters at a UFC event. Man's been caught, and perhaps he will get the death penalty, or perhaps he'll get life in prison. As long as Trump is in the White House, the man will be duly punished. Now, if the radicals become president, he might get a medal. The progressives whose concept of life is distorted. Speaking of the former presidents, ex-president pressured Joe Rogan, a great man, to drop and stop fighting against the COVID hoax. But no, Joe stayed. Of course, one of the men who did that was the egomaniacal Barack Obama, who was one of the ugliest aesthetically and threatening libraries ever in the middle of Chicago. So much so that it is different to enfranchise his own people. This monstrosity, funded by the Soviet and the Muslims who undermine the very foundations of this nation. This man, this Obama, is a false god. He will be swept aside one day. His memory and his library broken up and destroyed. Not by whites, but by blacks. Will recognize the true nature of the man in time. When I say man, I don't mean Rochelle. She's not a man, she's just a masculine woman who has the affectations of a male, while her husband has nebulous affectation. Well, enough. Short but sweet will make this. I hope it doesn't offend anyone.